Welcome back. In this demonstration we are going to be learning about putting our proportional figure drawing skills into a little practice before we actually start our actual figure drawing. So remember, we're going to follow the structure of starting with the envelope to get our sizes right, then moving on to the structure about the proportion, including the things like the bones and the sections and the joints. Then we'll move on to the contour line, and then if we have time we'll add form using our value. So step one, you're going to have 3 pieces of paper. In class I'm going to have a variety of these pieces of paper with different action poses. You're going to need 2 of them. One that you're going to practice on and one that you're going to actually end up drawing. Oops, sorry, this guy's supposed to be like this. He's a break dancer. Alright, so I'm going to do the demonstration on paper number 1. And then you're going to actually draw this second one onto this piece of paper in a backwards sort of fashion. So I'm going to show you how that all works. So I'm going to set these 2 pieces aside. The one I'm going to draw later, I'm going to set those aside and do those in the second demonstration. But this first demonstration looks like this. You're going to use a Sharpie marker. Please put your name on your paper so that we know whose it is. Okay, and this is your practice. This is going to get stapled on top of all your other pieces. Now, with your Sharpie marker, you're going to start by going through our same thing. You're going to say, okay, where's our envelope? Here's one point of the envelope. Here's another point of your envelope. Here's another point of your envelope. Here's maybe another point of your envelope, another point of your envelope, and your other point of your envelope. And you're going to draw your lines together. Now, you don't need to be super precise in the sense of like drawing around the little heads and stuff like that, as long as you get the general envelope. Okay, so there's my envelope. Now you'll see as I flip this paper over, you're going to see that envelope on the back. And what we're going to do is we're going to trace everything out on the front, and then you're going to flip it over so you can see how the body and the Tin Can Man drawing end up looking once you're done. So we're going to continue on. His spine comes from here and goes down to his pelvis. Now you can't really see that, and I'm going to use some white out here in just a minute to show you the things I'm drawing. Okay, here's his main spine, right? If we think of that main spine and we start thinking about his joints and his body parts as we move out of there. So if we start here and we have his head and his spine connects to the head, here's his shoulder joint, here's his elbow joint, here's his shoulder joint, here's his elbow joint, his wrist joint, and his wrist joint. Correct? Now if we move on, we're going to think his hip joint is here, his hip joint is here, his knee joint is here, his ankle, knee. Alright, now we've got all those joints drawn in. If I go back with it, now first flipping this over, you can see all those joints and where they are. It's super complicated. Much easier when you're looking at this and just tracing on it. I'm just going to give you a feel for what this might look like. So you can't see them so well, but if I put, and I use white on top of here, that now you can see there's his hip joints, here's his knee joint, ankle joint, knee joint, ankle joint, wrist, elbow, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Okay, and here's his spine. Okay, so now you can kind of see those points. I'm going to kind of continue without the white and just switch back and forth to show the next parts. Now, I've got all the joints in so you could see those kind of joints. Now if I say, well, I know there's a bone going from here to here. I know that there's a bone going from here to here. And here's my hand. Okay, I know that there's a bone from this elbow to the shoulder, from the elbow over to the wrist, and the wrist, here's my hand. Okay, Now his torso. His torso is from one top of the shoulder to the other top of the shoulder. From that shoulder down to where his rib cage might end, and from here up to the shoulder, and that right there is his torso. A lot of kids today had trouble with their understanding that the torso might have to overlap through different things, and that it might not be exactly a trapezoid because of the way that your action person is arranged. So that is more of a parallelogram. I guess it is a trapezoid. Here's his pelvis. His pelvis is going about like that. All right, and then within the pelvis and the torso, we have our abdomen right there in the middle. Okay, the abdomen might be a little bit hard to see on some of the poses because they've been twisted around some of these. So you're just going to have to look and kind of use your imagination to the best you can. So here's his abdomen right in the middle there. And that's why it's a sphere on the inside of the drawing mannequin, because that piece is swiveling all the time. Now we've got that finished, we're going to take the section here for his thigh and the section here for his shin, and then his foot down here. Here's his thigh section. Here's his shin section. And here's his foot section. All right, now we have his shoulder to his elbow, the bicep area. Here's his forearm area, and then we already did his hand. Here's his bicep area. Here's his forearm area, and we already did his hand. So now if I flip this paper over, we have a pretty good drawing of what we have on the other side. And I can go back here and I can say, well, here's the head, here's his torso, and I can just trace right over the top of it. Here's his abdomen, here's his pelvis, here's his thigh and his shin and his foot. Thigh, shin, foot, and I can put all those joints in. And this just kind of aids my eye in figuring out, oh, this tin can man, this drawing mannequin thing, it does actually work. It does actually signify where things are. I could figure this out if I simply understood how that concept worked. Okay, so now that I've got this finished, this is step one. Okay, you're going to finish tracing on the front, flipping it over, and retracing it on the back. After you're done with step one, you're going to move on to step two. That's where you're going to take your second drawing, whatever it happens to be. Oh, sorry, again, it's a break dancer. It's supposed to go this way. And you're going to draw separately on this sheet of paper. So I'm going to come back in the second video of the demonstration and do that.